Go through how to make your airbrush makeups last a bit longer. Most products that I use are water-based. Some of them may be alcohol-based, and I do have some silicone-based, so it's very clear that the silicone-based lasts a lot longer. However, they are significantly more expensive. They also clog most airbrush machines and styluses, and they're a little bit more difficult to work with, and they're quite a bit more expensive. So for those of us that have the water-based, stay tuned, and I'll show you how to do a basic foundation before you use your airbrush cosmetics to make them last the longest. Avoid things like cakiness, cracking, overuse of your products, and the flaking or difficult spots like around the eyes to get rid of the deep circles or bluish brown or whatever issue you might have. So this is what works for me, and I'll show you each product before I use it and go from there. Now, I know that most airbrush machine companies and cosmetic manufacturers have their own line of products. I know that Dynair does, and I believe Luminous does as well. But I'm going to mostly concentrate on what you can get from like general drugstores, CVS, Walgreens, and that kind of thing. It's significantly less money and seems to work about the same amount. But I will also show you some alternatives if you want to see those. So first off, I start with the Neutrogena Rapid Wrinkle Repair, and put that under my eyes. You can put that, I found, pretty much anywhere that you notice wrinkles. Just be very careful with the delicate skin. They say to use your pinky or your ring finger, but my pinky had a little accident. I think it broke and it's pretty sensitive. So as you see, I'm just putting in the areas that I think I need the wrinkle care. I've been told that anything that you can put around your eyes, you can put anywhere else, and I found that to be true. Okay, that's Neutrogena Rapid Wrinkle Repair Eye Cream. Next is the Almay Smart Shade Luminous Primer CC. It's a pink undertone, so it'll as you see, it's quite a bit pinker than I am. It'll get on me. Yeah, it'll counteract many different things like discoloration of the skin. It'll also help refine pores. It has a moisturizer. It's also very runny. It spreads on very, very thin. A little bit goes a very long way. And it feels like silk. Now, you can also use the Dream Fresh BB 8-in-1 Beauty Balm Skin Perfector. I found that that's got a nice tint to it. You can match your shade. And it does pretty much the same thing as the Almay does, but with a little extra tint. But the problem with the BB that I found is that if you put it on too thickly, or you don't allow it to set in between the layers, it can also have a counteractive effect of making your makeup not stick or last as long. So I'm just showing you what Almay will do. Next is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. I have shade 15, which is about as white as you can get. because I'm very pale. This has peach undertones, which is supposed to correct these brownish blue hollow points under your eyes. We'll see what you think. Just dab. Any place that has those deep hollows, I'll use the correct finger. See how of that. And as you can see pretty clearly, and pretty fast, mind you, those deep hollows are fading, especially right here. But this is just a primer. It doesn't even count as makeup. So just try to dab this in wherever you have your most issues. I have it mostly around my eyes, under my eyes, and around my nose. At least those are the areas that I'm concerned with. Generally, you're supposed to let this set 5 minutes or so. So I'm going to pause the video and let it set. Okay, so about 5 minutes have gone by, and as you see, although I still have a little bit of discoloration, as I said, we still haven't put the makeup on yet, so this is just primer. And I think it did a pretty good job. Now, if, let me get a close-up. Okay, so if you find that you don't like the feel of it, or it seems tacky or greasy or something along those lines, I also recommend a product called Lori and Nashi. I think it's Lori G. Ashley. It's just a silica-based powder. Has no color, very, very lightweight, perfect for airbrush makeup. And you put, I mean, this thing is tiny, as you can see. You just take a little bit, I mean a very little bit, put it on your brush, and stipple around your eyes, or wherever you feel is needing a little bit of extra matte. Yeah, that worked. Okay. Now, always, my recommendation is always keep a whole bunch of Q-tips nearby, because you never know when you get some gook in the corner of your eye right here, or your eye starts tearing up and you don't want it to ruin your makeup before it sets. Be very, very careful when putting anything near your eye. Okay. So, the very last step in my makeup primer for airbrush is, if anyone hasn't heard of the Camouflage by Dinair, I use the Alabaster, which is the second to lightest light that you can get. I think vanilla is the lightest, and this one is a little darker than my skin tone is generally, but it's perfect for camouflaging, which is a great name. And just for the sake of this video, to show you how well it goes overall, my blemishes, and I have got age spots, I've got scars, broke my nose not long ago. Well, actually, it's been a while, but the scar is still here, and I have a little raised area because of it. I have adult acne, you know, all kinds of acne scars from when I was younger, and this has been the only thing, and it's been honestly a complete miracle. The only thing that I've ever seen that covers quite like it. Until I switched to airbrush, nothing else actually did. So I'm going to just run this over real quick and show you what it looks like. You put about 4 drops in. Okay, so I've got my Camouflage. I've also got a Luminous compressor and a Luminous machine, which I absolutely love. I use primarily Dinair cosmetics, but I also use the Luminous for tinting those cosmetics, because I find that the the colors are very nice and they work very well together. So, you know, definitely, even if you don't like a company, don't throw out their cosmetics if you don't like it. Just keep it, mix it with something else. Alright, so I'm going to go with the camouflage and go over some problem areas. I'm going to put in 3 drops. Turn my compressor on. It's actually set to the middle. It's not the fast and it's not the slow. I use this most of the time. So I've got some problem areas, and you go about 2 inches from your skin. You rock the stylus, little trigger, back and forwards while you're moving the stylus. And you zero in on just those areas. You don't have to do full coverage. You don't have to worry about under your eyes. You've already covered that. Go for just real lightly go through one pass of just your problem areas. Don't go one pass over your entire face. That's not what this step is for. Zoom in on your main issues. Make all the funny faces you want. Nobody really cares, except maybe somebody watching you. And even then, they shouldn't be watching you. Any areas of discoloration. Don't use this as a highlighter, although it might be tempting because it would make a very good matte highlighter. You don't want a matte highlighter. It'll just create a cakiness. Okay, you don't have to use all of it. And you will learn very quickly how much you need, because this stuff is super, super opaque. And you won't need much. I would even say, you know, spray gently up your nose. It prevents those weird lines. I have some adult acne on my neck, so I'm just gonna go over it. Okay, so from the 3 drops that I put in, as you can see, there was quite a bit left.